R.I.P. Louise Hay's mother. But welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited to be making this video today. It feels kind of urgent, and that's also the title of the video. And if this is your first time on the channel, we do discuss art. We have artful conversations. We discuss process. Everyone's invited, regardless of your experience or anything like that. We just want to have conversations around creativity and geek out around that. Because if you're here, because if you clicked on this video, you might understand the importance of community, especially when it comes to creativity and any kind of artistic pursuit. It's really, really important to have encouragement, and a lot of us are going it alone, and we don't need to be doing that. So let's create the creative community that we want to see in the world online right now. Today we're diving in, sorry about the plane. Today we're diving into something that I feel really strongly about. Why creating your art is urgent and important. Maybe you're in the process of trial and error. Maybe you're stewing on ideas. Maybe you're in a collaborative part of the process. Maybe you're waiting for the next step to reveal itself, or waiting for a correspondence. There's so many places to be, but wherever we are in the process, we can all relate to the emotional kind of ups and downs that we all go through. But we go through these things inside of our heads a lot of the times, and we do tend to feel stuck. We can tend to feel like, our voice, our perspectives, aren't as important or as resonant as the next artist. But your perspective and your voice and your opinion and your intention, your experience, your story is so timely and important in ways that you might not yet be aware of. By the end of the video, I hope you'll feel inspired, right? To maybe take the next inspired step in your own individual, unique, creative journey, because your journey is unlike anyone else's journey. And there's a reason for that, and it's very important. So listen inwardly, be curious, be observant. What you are experiencing is different than anyone else around you, but is resonant for, the more honest it is, the more resonant it will be for the people outside of that initial circle of understanding, the people that have come to know you how you are. And art is a healing force. And when you lean into that, you actually do lead by example and help others heal themselves and feel more inspired as a result. And it can actually be very simple. So I want to start with that kind of simple concept around why creating art is healing. And I do mean that literally. You're giving yourself a way to process your own emotions when you're making your art, when you're giving yourself the space to feel, the time to feel, the gift of the present moment. Your DNA, your brain, your heart is rewiring in those moments, and your art doesn't have to be this polished, perfect reflection of where you want to be. You just need to basically start. Through that process, I've found for myself, as well as I've heard from artists in my community, and I've watched thousands of interviews from artists who I love, as well as I've read a ton of books. I think at the beginning of our journey, we want to set out to create the perfect piece, like our magnum opus. I think that's how you say it. Is that what that is? I don't know. Your senior thesis, your life's work. You set out to create your life's work and your first piece of art. I mean, that's barely ever the case. And I was talking to a friend about this recently too, a friend of mine who's really big into fantasy fiction novels. And I don't really read a ton of fantasy fiction novels, but she was talking about her favorite book in a certain series. And for whatever reason, it just occurred to me, I thought, oh, I wonder if your favorite book, I didn't even say this, but I was thinking I wonder if my friend's favorite book in the series is also the author's favorite book in the series. Because I've written some songs that fucking suck, that people seem to like. I mean, not a ton of people, but people that, in my circle of, in my artist community, they seem to like it. But it wasn't necessarily my favorite song. And actually, I think that every song I make is better than the last. So I don't know really where I stand on that. And I actually am the type of artist too, where I kind of think the last thing I did was trash. And I really want to let go of that too. And just understand that even for myself, I'm still learning that I don't have to be perfect. My art does not have to be perfect. I just need to be in the process of creating, because that's who I am. And the sooner that I can accept that, the sooner my art will come into the world. Does that make sense? I think that we deny ourselves the chance to be creatives way before we even allow ourselves the opportunity to thrive into it and give ourselves the chance to be successful at it, because it feels so far away from what we might have known, right? But I think that is why there is so much bravery and so much beauty in the pursuit of being an artist, because no one is truly ever going to be able to understand what you individually have gone through and how you articulate it in your own creative medium, your own creative language, right? Whatever your medium is. And you may have multiple. I have multiple mediums. You know, I was with a friend last night at dinner and he asked me what my ultimate dream is, right? And I'm just like, what do you want, right? I write, I'm an actor, but I write, but I make music. It's like, but I also feel like I have ideas for products. Like I am a creative force, and I'm starting to accept that. And I'm starting to see that is okay to be multiple things. Maybe it's a disservice, right? I scroll by these YouTube videos all the time that are like, choose your niche, exploit your niche, build a business, sell a product. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I don't relate to that shit. I really don't relate to that. I relate to authenticity. I want to get in there and like know you, dude. I want to know like your brain, your heart, your mind. Like I want to be inspired by the person that you are. I don't give a fucking shit about what you've done, what you have. Get out of here. What? That's not what it's about. It's about you. What you have to say that is the way that you say it, that is different than the way others say it, that resonates for people who need to hear it. And one of the biggest shifts for me in this urgency to start leaning in and creating my own art and standing behind my art, because the world knows you have to stand behind your art. No one else is gonna do it. You have to stand behind your art before anybody else will. And it's okay to be a little bit brazen and bold about that. It's okay to let that egotistical part of yourself come out just a little bit in order to protect yourself from the naysayers who don't fuck with your art or don't want you to change, because they think that you evolving and growing into this new version of you, which is something that they've never seen before, actually threatens their own self-identity so much that they are confronted with your true authentic expression. And I have to tell you, that is your gift, my friend. That is your gift. That is what you are here to do. You are here to make people think. You are here to help people be inspired. You are here to heal yourself, and you're here to have a good time. You know what I mean? Like, let your art bring you so much joy that you don't give a shit what other people think. Let that happen. Let it out into the world. Like, give your art has consciousness. So let it into the world. Your art has consciousness. You have to just be able to like take the mask off, stand in your authentic truth, whatever that means. And you will see that your audience might not be your audience now, but your audience will be your audience when you step into who you are. And if validation is something that you desperately seek, I really encourage you to take a deeper introspective look at that, figure out what that's about, and really gently give yourself a lot of space to work on releasing the grips around what that need, that fear is within you that continues to drive you to please the people around you, especially with your art. My favorite artists in the entire world did not give a fucking shit what people thought. Okay, so for whatever that's worth, take that, run with it, find the extraordinary in the ordinary. Like, understand that working on your art is time well spent. Deeply accept yourself. Be honest with yourself in your shortcomings. It's going to be hard, but it wouldn't be worth it if it was easy. When anything's handed to you, you don't care about it, you know? One of my favorite things, there's an artist who I really like, Alex Warren. I heard him on a podcast, and I just thought he was like some influencer, but when you really hear his story, I mean, you would never know some of the things that people are walking around carrying. You would never know, because we are alchemizing it into our artwork and healing through it. We understand that our experience as artists is information that is not to be bastardized or to be like spewed across. It's information that I look at as a gift, even when it's hard. I look at art and life and creativity and experience as little pieces of the puzzle that I'll eventually create. And I don't know where or when these things are going to come out or thread into the work, but as a writer, I have to experience it all. I have to absorb it all and just be present for it all. And that means the hardest parts, because when I'm letting myself feel the most difficult parts about being human, then I know that whatever I bring forward out of that will resonate with the viewer, the audience, whoever's reading it, you know, or myself, you know. Maybe there's so much shit I've fucking written that I've never even shown. I don't even plan to show anybody. But that's the point, because it's like the difference between a writer and someone who is not a writer is that a writer is writing. The difference between a content creator and someone who is not a content creator is that a content creator is creating content. The difference between an artist and someone who is not an artist is that an artist is making art. You know, the difference between a lawyer and someone who's not a lawyer, like you just got to be doing the thing. And the more you do the thing, the more you will become the thing. The more your life and your outer experience will reflect that, and the more that you will experience, and then the more that you'll have to say too. I think that's another really good piece of advice also, like this urgent call to create your art is really, there's an urgency, because I want you to really accept it within yourself. That's the urgency. But the urgency in the actual process, your creative process, I really want to encourage you to take your time, be present with that, be so present with your experience, treat it like with care, like a baby. It needs a lot of care and intention and time and love and support and understanding and compassion. Did I say that? And over time, you nourish it, you know, you help it to grow. And then over time, it really does inform itself. It starts to take on a life of its own. It grows into something beautiful. So let's see if that's all my spiel. And like, what can happen when you don't create art? It's like you're suppressing a pull, right? To express yourself. And that doesn't go away. I heard Brene Brown say too, like unexpressed creativity becomes rage, anger, shame, because that unexpressed creativity, that is emotions, right? And it calcifies in our consciousness inside of our body, turns into sickness, ailments, anxiety, stress, fear, resentment, being lonely, right? Chronic stress, emotional suppression has all been linked to heart disease, autoimmune diseases. And actually the word disease, dis-ease, is a lack of balance, right? It's being unbalanced. Louise Hay, I believe. Was it Louise Hay? You guys know Louise Hay? She's a writer, Hay House. R.I.P. Louise Hay's mother. And she spoke openly within her works about her battle with cancer, breast cancer, and how it was tied to unresolved trauma and unexpressed emotions, and how she really, really, really did believe that by finding ways to kind of release those emotions, that she really did believe that finding these ways to express her creativity through affirmations and other forms of self-expression was a part of how she did ultimately heal her cancer. And whether or not you believe that there's a connection between that, I'm not a doctor, but I can play one on TV. So whether or not you believe it, it is hard to deny that feelings of joy do come after creating good art. It just does. Or art that you're proud of. I don't want to say good art because it's so subjective, right? And I believe that is your body, right? That's your body. It's telling you, like, this is working. This is medicine, right? We are healing this disease. So of course, as I turn on the camera, I just continue to think of even bigger things. Now I'm thinking about how, like, when artists don't share their voice, culture actually suffers. And art pushes forward movements and conversations, and it challenges these norms and these ideas, which I sort of spoke about earlier, and it just creates new possibilities. It allows humanity to move forward because it presents new ideas in inside of the minds that might have been stagnant, right? We inspire someone outside of their normal life, like, whoa, what is this, and it just encourages this domino effect throughout culture, right? Where people are just awake to something again. And if we don't have art, we don't have these things to shake us awake or allow us to see the humanity that is going on around us all the time, or not even just the humanity, the miracles that exist in nature. Like, nature is so creative. All you need to do is go out into a park and breathe for 5 minutes, and you will see that there is creativity in action, unfolding, dying, turning over, life recycling over and over and over in the moment, and these miracles just flying at us at all times. It's pretty amazing, but you have to be open to it. I just really believe that art is the most powerful tool in creating change. I really do. I think it always has been. And imagine the possibility that your art is somehow something that sparks the thing, or something else that sparks the thing. Like, you just don't know what impact you're ever having, right, on the world. And I think too, like in this video that I'm making right now too, I don't know, I'm sitting here in my studio apartment, like, I don't know who's gonna see this. Hopefully people like it, but whatever, I feel called to share this message. It's urgent, it's important, it's timely, it's resonant. Go make your art. Like, I wouldn't even be mad if you turned off this video and went and started making your art. Like, I wouldn't even care. Because I'm ready for change. I think that the whole world is kind of like entering into this new kind of phase of just like letting go of illusions of what we sort of thought was, and just leaning into like the actual truth, like our inherent individual truth, and seeing that there are people all across the world that connect to us. It's pretty incredible, right? Then I think about the future and what that's going to mean when people continue to move forward and stop robbing themselves of this growth and expansion, and how much the future generations are going to benefit from all the bravery that we are putting in right now in order to step into this space and just allow ourselves to be seen and share whatever the fuck we want to share at whatever fucking moment that we want to. Fuck. That's not who I want to be, but that's who I just was. You know what I mean? I really am going to work on that because it's kind of like unbecoming. You know what I mean? I don't really want to say the F word that often, but here we are. Fuck it. And as an artist who has to stand behind your work before the outer world is even going to see it, I understand there's so many things that go into kind of getting over these mental hurdles, these mental blocks, in order to just like share your own art. I understand. I've gone through a huge trajectory in order to just brazenly, boldly move forward in my own voice, my own individual authentic expression, and it continues to unfold moment by moment, day by day. I don't know what I'm going to be making next month, but I also kind of feel inspired now by that, as opposed to in the past, maybe I would have felt like really bogged down by that. That feeling of just like not knowing what's coming next. Because we can't really know what's coming next because we're actually creating what's coming next. And so if you look at it through that lens, it actually is, it's fucking badass that you're an artist, dude. Like, don't ever discount that. You're basically a rock star if you're an artist. Like, you're a rock star. You are a rock star. You are the coolest fucking person that has existed on this planet as far as I'm concerned. And you were able to make a living out of doing that. Like, stop. Stop. If you could go back before you were born and choose what life you were going to have as an artist, what would it look like? Go do that. I love you.